Hello guys, welcome back to a new video, and today we are back with our third video of the third month. I've been uploading because I've been waiting for views and likes, and no, I'm not gonna do that Minecraft series until you guys reach the like ratio, and this like ratio should be about 10 seconds long. Understand? And let's get into this video. Okay, it's I know everyone dirty secrets pretending I'm blind. First off, why would you pretend you're blind? It's one of the worst things that could happen. But and you shouldn't really pretend being it, because you can be it and you wouldn't like being blind, and most people would want to have eyesight. So guys, here's a life lesson to you. Don't pretend to be blind. Okay, don't make fun of blind people, because if you were blind, you wouldn't like it. But you can't make blind jokes with your blind friend if they allow you, because they can see what you're doing. That was a joke. You get the joke? It's because see and they can't see you. You get the joke? Okay, I'm just being a real asshole at the moment. Let's just get into the video.
As if the last year of school before college wasn't stressful enough, my dad got himself fired and we had to move to a new city so he could find a new job. It wouldn't have been so bad, except Dad was a teacher at my school, so everyone knew what he'd done. It was one of the worst things to happen to us since Mom died when I was 12. But this time, it was all Dad's fault.
What the fuck is that in the background? You see that? Some goal. Is that a zombie? What? Let's go back. Wait. Look.
My school, so everyone knew what he'd done. It was one of the worst.
You see the girl on like the right side, or maybe left for you. Like, look on both of those sides. You'll see. You'll see a girl just walking, like, straight forward. Like, oh, is it handicapped? Like, look.
To happen to us since Mom died when I was 12. But this time, it was all Dad's fault.
What?
You see, he was having an affair with the principal's wife, and someone in my grade filmed them and shared it across social media. I could have stayed at this school and finished my exams, but let's be honest, I'd never live it down. I lasted about 3 days before I went to the principal and told him I was leaving. He didn't even look at me. He just said, "You should be ashamed of your dad. Get out of my school." One guy came up to me and said that me and my dad were a disgrace, and I shouldn't show my face in this town again. I couldn't get out of there fast.
Why did the guy look like King from, what's it called? 7 Deadly Sins, the fat version? Why did he look like that?
So Dad and I packed up and moved, leaving our old life behind. I was miserable at first. The video was still viral, and I even thought about asking Dad if I could change my surname to Mom's old name, just so I wouldn't have to be associated with it all. Dad couldn't find a job anywhere. Everyone recognized him from the video, and some newspapers had written about it too. It was a nightmare. I knew I'd have to start at a new school so I could sit my final exams, so I decided to try and disguise myself. I cut my long hair into a pixie cut and bleached it blonde. Then I got my nose pierced. On the first day, Dad offered to drive me, but I told him I'd walk, just in case anyone recognized him. I knew I was being mean to him, but I didn't care. He'd ruined my reputation, and I wasn't about to let him. As I was walking to school, I wasn't paying attention, and I bumped into a young guy. "Hey, watch it," he said. "I'm blind." I apologized, then looked back at him. Wow, I'd never have known he was blind. And then I got an idea. I reached into my bag and put on my sunglasses, and then when I got closer to this school, I held onto the wall and walked alongside it slowly. I could see people looking at me, but I didn't care. A few people started whispering, and I let go of the wall. What was I even doing? But then a girl came up to me and introduced herself as Elsie, and took me by the arm and offered to help me walk to class. She said her brother was blind too, so she knew how difficult it could be sometimes.
So, your brother's blind, so you come up to someone holding a wall. Listen, if you go So listen, what I'm trying to say is that if you this joke is not funny, but still, if you go up to a random person on the wall that has sunglasses on while the sun is out and they're holding the wall, they might have just been on those that Coca-Cola. If you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. But they'll be on that Coca-Cola.
Well, too late now. I'd started this, so I just have to play along. I mean, how hard could it be? I told her I was new around here, and this was my first day. She seemed so excited. She started describing things to me, like where the girls' bathroom was, and then she took me to register, and I was so sure the principal would know I was lying. But it seemed this school took disability seriously. For the first time in ages, I felt like people actually cared about me. Elsie was
No one really cares about you.
my guide, and that first morning passed in a blur. When she introduced me to her boyfriend at lunch, I had to stop myself from staring at him. He was such a babe. But then I realized I could stare all I wanted, because he obviously thought I couldn't see him. And when Elsie had her back turned, I could see him checking me out, looking me up and down. And from the way his mouth was hanging open, it was clear he thought I looked good. It was like a whole new world had opened up. As soon as people found out I was blind, they did all kinds of things in front of me. One guy was picking his nose, and then when we went to the bathroom, Elsie didn't even close the door. It was pretty awkward, but what could I do? Surely someone would catch me out. And yup, sure enough, in the afternoon, things went downhill. Elsie dropped me off at the classroom for people with special needs, and then she just left me there. I looked around me and realized people there seriously had proper disabilities and learning difficulties. I wanted to scream that I was a fraud and run out, but the teacher came over to me and gave me a hug, and I was reminded why I was doing this. Anything to avoid being the girl whose dad got fired because of an affair.
So you decide you want to stop being a fraud, yeah? I think that's gonna be more worse than your dad having an affair and you getting kicked out. I think that's even more worse. I ain't gonna lie, still, I think that's more worse. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comment section below, because I have no subscribers and you better subscribe to this video, otherwise I'm gonna cry myself to sleep. I'll put myself one closer to identity. Hit that like button and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to but and you should. Okay, that kind of hurts. Still, I hit my leg when I did that, and I also hit my mouth, my hand. Wait, what? If you hit, okay, what? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm gonna carry on with the video because you guys want this. You guys want this reaction, so I'm gonna give it to you. You look at this messed up face of his. Yeah, let's go in.
But then she put a book in front of me, and I realized it was Braille, and my heart almost stopped. How was I supposed to know what this book was about? I had no clue how to read it. I had to get out of there. I told her I wasn't feeling very well, and then I reached out to grab onto the chair in front of me, so I could feel my way out of the classroom. But I didn't even realize how hard I'd pulled it, or the fact there was someone sitting in it. And the next moment, the chair was falling on top of me, and then a girl fell onto the floor. I just lay there, trying not to cry. How had I not seen her sitting there? This whole faking being blind thing was starting to mess with me. Then it got worse. She landed on her arm and broke it. She was actually blind, which made me feel so bad. And no one was even angry with me because they all assumed I couldn't see. The teacher ordered an ambulance for the blind girl and offered to call my parents. I was sick and my mom had passed away years ago. The teacher felt so bad for me and said I could rest in her office until the end of the day, and then she'd drive me home. I sat in the teacher's office and waited, and then eventually I decided to leave without her noticing. I left a note thanking her for looking after me. I wrote it with my left hand, of course, so it would look realistic, and then I snuck out. Everyone was in class, so I just walked out of there like normal and headed home. When I got home, Dad was in a good mood. He'd got a job interview and he had a date that night. I just ignored him and went to my room. What a crazy first day. The next day, Elsie was waiting for me at the gate, and I had to pretend I didn't see her and walk straight past her, but she grabbed my hand and helped me to class again. Then my teacher was there to welcome me, and she said she had some exciting news. that seeing as I was 18 and blind, and my dad was sick, I could claim some benefits to help me out. I couldn't believe it. Jackpot. Maybe being blind wasn't so bad after all. That morning...
That is using money for a bad thing. That is not good, because you should not use money for that. You are using money. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she is using money that should be passed down to another person. Instead, they are giving money to a fake person, if you know what I'm saying. And why is she saying, I know everyone's dirty secret? Listen, have you seen it? Have you seen the time? It's 6 minutes. That is half of time. That's half of the time into the video, and we got straight into the video straight away. And that's half of it. We're like past half of the video, okay? And look at that. We haven't even seen it. One single dirty secret. The only thing dirty is that girl fucking taking a shit in front of your face, because she thinks you're blind.
I had gym class, which I wasn't expecting. I thought another perk of being blind would be that I got to skip sports and stuff. But no, it was so humiliating. It was a swimming class. The gym teacher gave me a swimsuit and I put it on backwards, thinking that would be more realistic. But our special needs department teacher rolled her eyes at me and said that by now surely I knew how to dress myself. She'd been so nice to me up until now. I didn't get it. I kept watching her and she was constantly looking at her phone. The rest of the day dragged by. Faking being blind was hard work. After school, I decided to go check out the mall. I wore my sunglasses in case anyone from school saw me. Anyway, the mall was pretty lame, so I bought a milkshake and decided to leave. Suddenly, I saw Elsie and her boyfriend, and I panicked. I was playing on my phone, and I was like, that's it, my act is up. They were kissing, so I walked by quickly, hoping they wouldn't see me. And then I realized something. It wasn't Elsie he was kissing. I looked right at him, and he froze and opened his mouth to say something. Then I heard him whisper under his breath, "Never mind, she's blind. Phew." Except I wasn't blind, mister, and you have officially been caught in the act. I walked back around, hid behind the fountain, and quickly snapped a pic of them kissing. Elsie deserved better. I looked her up on Instagram and sent her a private message with the photo. She replied straight away saying, "Who is this? Why are you trying to ruin my relationship?" And then it clicked. My Instagram handle wasn't my name, and my pic looked nothing like me. Oh yeah, and I was blind. Obviously she didn't know it was me. Well, at least she now knew that her boyfriend was a lying, cheating... Over the next few days, Elsie didn't come to school, and I regretted sending her that photo. If she found out it had been me who sent it, I'd probably have lost my only friend. I could see her boyfriend...
So, the thing that's really now kind of messed up is that she says she knows everyone's dirty secrets. Nope. You only know one. You physically only know one secret. If you said you know a couple, then that's alright. But you should have said, I pretended to be blind and I saw everything. Like, that's one of the videos that you should have actually done. Not, I know everyone's secrets because I'm blind. I feel like the act is gonna get caught off anyway. She did say, oh, if she finds out it's me, I'm gonna be done. And she's gonna ask you so many questions of how do you know, so yeah.
Friend looking at me in a horrible way, but I just kept my head down. She must have told him someone had seen him that day. Was he on to me? He definitely was, because on Friday afternoon, I saw him going into my locker and taking my phone. It took all my strength not to jump out at him and stop him, but it was too late. He had taken it. I hurried home wondering what I could do. He'd see all the photos and figure out I'd been faking it. I could report my phone missing, but I had no proof that it was him that had done it. I couldn't exactly say I'd seen him. I just wanted to get home to try and figure out what I'd do next. Except that was not what happened. My dad had invited his date over, and as soon as I walked through the door, he told me to get changed and come join him in the kitchen. Great, just what I needed. I was chopping carrots when she arrived. I turned around as my dad introduced her. "Allison, sweetie, come meet my new girlfriend, Susan." I literally just missed my foot. I dropped the knife right out of my hand and stared in shock. "Oh no, Allison, are you okay? Wow, what a coincidence." You shouldn't be using sharp knives. Come on, Kevin. Surely you know better than that, she said. Hang on, you two know each other? My dad said. Why, yes, of course. I'm Allison's teacher. Why didn't you mention your daughter was blind? I had no idea you were her father. In fact, she told me her father was sick. I stood there, my skin burning with shame. I had...
Wow, yeah. That was a big coincidence. Yeah, exactly, because she probably never described her daughter on the first date and never said that he went out with someone and never said he had an affair and never said he had a wife that died and he never talked about his daughter that ever hated him and he never talked about shit. Yeah, I don't even know how much minutes we're in, but I probably know where I'm 1,000, so...
To run. This was my absolute worst nightmare. Allison, my dad screamed. And that was how I got caught. I'd faked being blind because I just wanted people to like me and not associate. Now I'd gone and messed up everything, including my dad's new relationship. Susan, my teacher, was so upset with me and said I was a huge disappointment and that she didn't want to be with a man who'd raised a daughter like me. I guess I was just as bad as my dad, like father, like daughter. I wish I could say it all blew over after that and that I went back to school the following Monday and started afresh. Nope, life doesn't work like that. I was expelled, of course. And that Monday after school, there was a knock at the door. Elsie was standing there, and I held my breath, assuming she was about to go crazy at me. But instead, she just handed me my phone. She said she'd been angry to find out I'd been lying about being blind, especially as her brother was blind, and it wasn't okay to joke about this kind of thing. But then she said I'd saved her from dating a cheater, and she was so grateful. I was shocked. That was not how I expected her to react. She said she'd broken up with her boyfriend and that he'd been suspended for stealing. So, you still want to be my friend? I asked her. And she did.
No.
I couldn't believe it. Sure, I could have saved myself a whole lot of trouble if I hadn't faked being blind. But then would I have discovered that Elsie's ex was bad news? And would Elsie have been in the first place? There were just two small problems. I had to finish school.
Who the fuck was that in the back?
I had to find...
Can you see that guy on like the right or the left, whatever your side's on? Can you see that? It's just a man hosing right outside your window.
Hosing is not a word, you
Who's
schmuck.
that? It looks like for you live on like a flat. But so a man is outside your window looking at you and looking at your dad. To be honest, to me, that's a little bit of a, some bad things, you know what I mean? And the dad, why would, actually, I need to tell you something. Why would, like, the teacher or whatever would want to break up with the dad for having a horrible daughter? Can't you just fix the relationship with them? Like, it's okay. It's just a daughter that did a mistake because she didn't want do anything. She probably would have broken up with you if she did see that video. I'm not even joking. She probably would. And even though this video is fake, subscribe, hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, hit that subscribe button. And like the video.